Your parents told you renting is just throwing money away. Your real estate agent said it's always a good time to buy. They are both wrong, and the math is going to prove it. Nobody is going to show you this math in a bank meeting. Nobody is going to show you this at an open house tour. Because the moment you see it, the pressure completely disappears. You stop feeling behind, and you start making a real decision. That one decision could be worth $200,000 or more over 10 years. Picture this: you're 30, renting a decent apartment. Life is fine. Then everyone around you starts buying houses, and the pressure builds. Your family asks when you're finally going to stop wasting money on rent. You start to feel like you're failing at being a real adult. So you save $60,000 for a down payment on a $400,000 home. You sign the papers, and for a moment it feels like you've made it. You own something, and that feels like exactly the right move. Then the first year passes, and you start doing the actual math. Your mortgage is $2,100 a month, but that is not your real cost. Property taxes, insurance, and maintenance add another $1,000 every single month. You are spending $3,100 a month to live in a house you supposedly own, and after 12 full months, you have built almost no real equity. Here is the thing nobody explains when you sign that mortgage. Your bank built something called amortization, and it works against you. In year one of a 30-year mortgage, about 80% of your payment is pure interest. On a $400,000 loan at 7%, that is roughly $1,700 a month going straight to the bank. Only $400 of your first payment actually reduces what you owe. That $400 is what people proudly call building equity. Think about this. You paid $2,100 and you actually kept $400. That is an 81% loss on your monthly payment, directly to the bank. Now your rent-a-friend paid $1,800 in rent that same month. They took the $300 difference and invested it in an index fund every month. They also kept their $60,000 down payment fully invested in the market. This is where it gets interesting, because the math completely flips. The S&P 500 has returned an average of about 10% per year over decades. That $60,000 in the market grows to around $96,000 in just 5 years. Your $60,000 down payment is locked in a house that may not keep that pace. The renter is not throwing money away, they are redirecting it into a compounding asset. That is a completely different story than what you were told at the dinner table. Let's run the full 10-year comparison, side by side, with real numbers. Buyer, $400,000 home, 15% down, 30. Year mortgage at 7% interest rate. Monthly mortgage payment comes out to about $2,129 every month. Property tax at 1.2% annually adds roughly $400 more every month. Homeowner's insurance adds another $150 per month on average. Maintenance follows the 1% rule, that is $333 more every single month. Total real monthly cost for the buyer, just over $3,000 per month. Over 10 years, that is $360,000 in total housing payments made. Now let's look at what the buyer actually owns after 10 years. They have paid down maybe $40,000 of the principal loan balance. The rest, roughly $320,000, went to interest, taxes, insurance, and repairs. If the home appreciated at 4% annually, it is now worth about $592,000. On paper, that looks like a $192,000 gain, and people stop there. But here is what they forget to subtract from that number. Realtor fees alone, at 5 to 6%, on a $592,000 sale are $30,000 to $35,000. Add back the $60,000 down payment you locked up 10 years ago. Add the $320,000 you paid in interest, taxes, and maintenance over a decade. Your real net gain after 10 years is far smaller than the headline number. Now let's run the renter's numbers over that same 10 years. Renter pays $1,800 per month in a comparable apartment in the same city. That is $1,200 less per month than the buyer's total real cost. The renter invests that $1,200 difference every single month into an index fund. They also invest the full $60,000 down payment on day one. At 10% average annual return, the $60,000 alone grows to $155,000 in 10 years. The $1,200 monthly investment grows to roughly $230,000 over that same decade. Total portfolio for the renter after 10 years, around $385,000. Now here is the crazy part. Rent did go up slightly over those 10 years, but the renter's investment returns outpaced that rent increase by a wide margin. The renter has $385,000 in liquid, accessible, mobile wealth. The buyer has equity trapped inside a house they cannot easily liquidate, and the buyer still has 20 years left on a mortgage that keeps charging them. That gap, liquid versus locked, is the real story nobody tells you. There is also an invisible cost in buying called opportunity cost. Every dollar locked in a down payment is a dollar not compounding in the market. At 7% mortgage rates, you need your home to appreciate faster than the market to win. Historically, residential real estate appreciates at about 3 to 4% annually nationwide. The stock market has historically returned closer to 10% annually over long periods. You are trading a 10% asset for a 3 to 4% asset and calling it a smart investment. That gap compounds every single year you hold the house instead of the market. Now, this does not mean buying is always the wrong move. It means buying at the wrong time, the wrong price, or the wrong rate is the trap. So why do smart people keep making this choice without running the numbers? Because buying a home is not a financial decision, it is an identity decision. Owning a home means you made it. You are stable, you are a real adult. Renting carries a social shame that has been baked into culture for generations. Your brain does not calculate amortization schedules, it calculates social status. That is the invisible system controlling the decision before you even open a calculator. Real estate agents are paid only when you buy, they are never neutral advisors. Banks profit most in the first 10 years of your mortgage, the interest-heavy years. The entire system is designed to make buying feel urgent and renting feel shameful. But here's what actually shifts when you see through that system. You realize the pressure was never about your finances, it was about other people's comfort. The moment you detach the decision from identity, the math becomes very clear. This is where most people mess up. They confuse emotional security with financial security. A home feels safe because it is physical, visible, and permanent. But a $385,000 investment portfolio is objectively more secure than $150,000 in trapped equity. Security is not a feeling. Security is a number you can access when you need it. Renters also carry something homeowners quietly envy: total flexibility. You can move for a better job, a better city, or a better opportunity without selling a house. That flexibility has a real dollar value that never appears on any balance sheet. Homeowners who need to move at the wrong time in the market absorb that loss personally. Renters never have that risk. They simply give notice and move forward. The person who understands this is not choosing to rent, they are choosing freedom of capital. Now here is where people hear this and make a new version of the same mistake. They decide not to buy, but they also never actually invest the difference. They spend the $1,200 monthly gap on lifestyle instead of the market. Renting only wins if you actually redirect the freed capital into something that compounds. If you rent and spend, you get the worst of both worlds, no equity and no portfolio. The math only works if you are disciplined about what you do with the gap. The second mistake is waiting for the perfect time to buy while also never investing. Paralysis is just as expensive as a bad purchase time, and the market matters enormously. The third mistake is buying purely because rates might drop later. Rates dropping means more buyers flood the market, which pushes prices right back up. Lower rates do not automatically mean better deals. They often mean more competition. The trap is always the same: acting on emotion instead of current, real numbers. Here is what actually changes when you understand all of this. You stop seeing renting as losing and start seeing it as a strategic position. You become the type of person who makes housing decisions based on math, not shame. You run the numbers in your specific city, at current rates, against current prices. Sometimes the math says, buy in a low rate, low price, high appreciation market. It absolutely does. But right now, in most US markets, at 7% rates, the math says wait and invest. The most expensive thing you can do is make a $400,000 decision based on social pressure. Run your numbers, own your decision, and let everyone else follow the script you just escaped.